So make sure you stick around because I got some amazing things to show you today in day 2 of our video game development journey. Let's go.
It was day 2 of game dev, and we had a foundation for a world. It may have not been the prettiest world, but it was a blank canvas, and I was ready to draw something on it. I began to polish. First, I wanted to replace the building. Although I did like this crypt, it had built-in lighting, and I knew this was going to be a problem, as I wanted to add some light sources within my world. So I went to look for a new building. After browsing through itch and other sources, I actually got one generated through AI, and I thought it turned out pretty good. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Now that I had my building, it was time to get to programming. I had to add some depth and obstruction onto my building. I had no game engine to render this sort of thing, so I had to build it from scratch. It was kind of a pain in the butt. I took the top half of the building and I separated it from the bottom half. The top half I would draw on top of the player, and the bottom half I drew beneath the player. This would give a feeling of depth, as well I could add the staircase into my game as a feature within the world. The next thing I added into the game was a resource bar at the top. Mostly just image placeholders for now, although I did add a bone into the game. As you can see, the skeletons can drop a bone, and I also added an audio noise when you pick it up. Feeling overconfident with my new mechanics, I thought I'd tackle something a little more challenging. Atmosphere. I wanted this starting island to have fog, and I wanted it to be a very creepy and eerie cemetery. I saw somebody online use fancy shaders to make really cool looking fog in their game. It mentioned something about using WebGL, which was pretty much a toolkit or an API that assists the GPU in communicating to the screen in terms of presenting really cool fancy graphics. This was a little above my skill level, and I was not in the mood to learn WebGL environment. I decided to try to take a different route. I asked ChatGPT if there was alternative options. It did give me and suggested a few, but I decided to accept its challenge and make my own custom graphics. After watching a couple videos of alternative options, I discovered that I needed to use something called a grayscale overlay or noise overlay. Now this was something that I wasn't sure what it was, so I decided to look it up myself. And boy was I surprised. This is what I was supposed to use to make fog. I had to do a little more research, and I dug a little deeper into it, but the way it works is you take this layer and you place it over top of your entire area that you want to create fog, and then you change the transparency of it. The black components will turn gray or like slightly transparent, and then the white components will turn completely transparent. That way you get sort of a smoky feel or a misty feel to the map. Now that I had a good plan for fog, I thought I'd tackle lighting. Now this was no easy feat, and I had major issues with shadows initially, as I never worked with lighting before. I had some cool lighting effects on the top of the church that I really liked, and I wanted to kind of embrace this and use this as the light source. I then worked on the shadows afterwards and got them looking pretty nice. I was feeling a little bored with art, so I added a quick game mechanic. The player can acquire 10 bones to open the door. I then modified the fog filter in terms of the grayscale noise filter that I put on, and it turned out pretty amazing. This was the first result, and then I changed it to white and black, and I was extremely happy and satisfied with the final result of the map. Alright guys, that's the end of day 2, so make sure to leave me any comments, suggestions, and thoughts that you have for things you want in the game. I'm going to make another biome pretty soon here, probably a desert one, I'm thinking, maybe south of the graveyard region, and then I want to put something inside of the church, so let me know some thoughts and some ideas that you have for those components of the game. As always guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Poobearski.